Howdy there. So the other day, I got to see Margin Call. It's basically a dramatization of actual events. It says based on a true story on the poster. It chronicles the economic collapse of 2008 in America, and I guess subsequently the world. That's the backdrop. That's what it's about. The whole film practically takes place in one building. We do get out of the building every now and again, but it's not very often. It basically takes place in the offices of a unnamed, I guess, banking firm. I don't really understand money and, the stock exchange, and I don't really understand that whole thing. So that's kind of why I was anticipating this movie, is because I thought that I would get a layman's lecture on what happened in 2008 that made the system crash and led to the bailouts and what have you. I suppose our current quagmire. And I guess that's what I got. That's what I got. But it is very technical. It is about that. For a while I was kind of lost and hoping that I would get like a normal person's, again, a layman's explanation of what's going on, because the first half of the film, it's very true, and it plays to that crowd. If you are a stock market guru, a financial wizard, then you're probably going to love this movie, because, you're getting to see what you do, up on screen. So it felt very real. It almost, again, for half of it, felt exclusive, like I was being excluded. But with the second half, or at least the last 40 minutes, oddly enough, as the problem works its way up the food chain, it becomes more simplified. Because as the people at the top say, they did not get there because of their brains. So, in fact, there was an excellent quote delivered by Jeremy Irons. Please explain the problem to me. Explain it as if to a small child or golden retriever. And I was like, finally, something I can understand. Pretend like you're explaining it to a golden retriever, and then I'll get it. I thought it was really good. Of the three films I saw in the theater this weekend, it's the one I've been thinking about the most. I thought it was very interesting how I just happened to see the Ides of March back to back with this. They felt, like a team almost. They're both liberal, they're both talky, they both go behind the curtain of a world that you might not often get into. And, they're both about kind of what could be changed or what is wrong with the country and the political system and the banking system. So again, it made an interesting double feature. But I think I've liked Margin Call the most of the films I watched. I still think I want to give it an 8. I usually justify my 8 and by saying why I don't give it a higher score. And I'm not really sure why I'm not giving it a higher score. Maybe it could have been paced better. I don't know, because there are times where it was very intense, and kind of sitting at the edge of your seat, and all they're doing is crunching numbers. They're just like working on computers, and it's like, wow, you're into it. So it was a really surprisingly good movie. The trailers never really got me. I didn't want to see it. Honestly, I saw it and was enthused to see it because one of the reviews that I just happened to glance at compared it to 12 Angry Men. And 12 Angry Men is one of my favorite films. I saw 12 Angry Men when I was perhaps around the age of 12, 13, and I'd never seen a movie like 12 Angry Men. And I immediately kind of fell in love with it. Even went out and bought the play that it was based on because I just needed to have access to that. And so as soon as I saw it was compared to 12 Angry Men, I was there. And I could see that. All of the acting is great. This is a big ensemble cast. We've got Kevin Spacey, Zachary Quinto, Simon West, Jeremy Irons, Demi Moore, Stanley Tucci. Those six are the ones I'm recalling right now. Stanley Tucci did a really good job. I really like Stanley Tucci. He's a good actor. Sometimes I can not so much like him, and sometimes I can. He's really good here. I think he's had a big year with, being in a diverse set of films. He was in Burlesque this year. He was also in Captain America. Now he's in Margin Call. So he's, been a little bit of everywhere this year. And he's very good here. All of the acting is very good. All of the acting is actually pretty outstanding. Zachary Quinto, who I pretty much only know from the Star Trek film, and something else. What else did he do? Anyway, I don't know. He did good. Kevin Spacey was really good, as Kevin Spacey is always really good. Jeremy Irons. Haven't seen Jeremy Irons in a while. He's very good here. All of the acting, very, very good. All of the characters felt fleshed out. Good writing, They had an ear for the characters. I really liked how each of the characters have, their own scene with another character. Even the low man on the totem pole eventually gets to have, a bathroom conference with the top dog. So it's we get to see a lot of interplay about, the egos involved at different, levels, people who know more than other people. It's very much a morality play, very much. And how these people just rush in to do what is wrong, in essence, to just... the way they put it was, the system is flawed, and it's doomed for collapse, so it might as well start with us. We might as well jump ship first, So it does get into that moral zone of, it's going to happen, should we do it anyway? It just gives you a lot to think about. I can't tell you who wrote it. I can't tell you who directed it. Honestly, it kind of sounded like a foreign name, the director. I'm not really certain who did it. I hadn't recognized the name before. As far as I know, this is a debut, and if it is a debut, it's a hell of a debut. Very well controlled, very well told. I just really I really liked the mood. Was really well handled. like we are introduced. I'll try and put this succinctly, but we are like introduced to characters throughout the story, and we think, okay, that's the bad guy, because we meet Kevin Spacey pretty early on. You know, he's like there since the beginning. Oh, Paul Bettany is also in this. Paul Bettany was very good. But maybe I want to start with him. We meet like Paul Bettany first, and he's like icy and cool, and he seems to know what he's doing, and we're like, ooh, he's kind of creepy. He could be bad. And then we meet his boss, which is Kevin Spacey, and they like take not a great deal of time, but a good amount of time, like establishing him as this kind of heartless, uncaring individual. People are getting fired left and right around him. You know, people's lives are falling apart, and he is concerned with his dog. You know, and through that mood and that control of the plot, we think, okay, now this is the bad guy. And when you think Kevin Spacey's the bad guy, I mean, that's when he's the best. But you like think Kevin Spacey's the bad guy just because, again, he's so cool under this terrible situation that's going on. And then we like meet his boss, and then all of a sudden Kevin Spacey is the good guy. Kevin Spacey is the voice of reason. Kevin Spacey is the guy you root for. And then all of a sudden we meet his boss's boss, and he's like, okay, now that's the bad guy. You know, it's like this, where does it stop? You know, who is the bad guy? Are they all bad? Is it all just a pile of shit? Yeah, I really enjoyed that, how the blame kept on being, you know, shifted, thrown around, which is probably kind of what, you know, mirrors real life. So I really enjoyed that, how, you know, you have different feelings at different times about all of the characters. Even Zachary Quinto, the low man on the totem pole, the first guy we meet, who you would think is the most morally sound man, may not be so much by the end. Stanley Tucci, though. Stanley Tucci is the first to go. He's the one who discovers the problem. He's the one who wants to make a big deal out of it. He's definitely your moral center, because he even talks about his beliefs and about what is right and what is wrong. So he is definitely like the moral center post. And he does that very well. He's very sympathetic. You can empathize with him. I really enjoyed it. I thought all of the acting was outstanding. Not a bad performance in the lot. Very well told. Nothing too flashy about, you know, direction. Again, I think they focused on the story and telling the story. Again, I didn't really even notice the camera moving much. It's like they just composed the shot and just left it. So it's not, you know, it's nothing really like outstanding visually. Nor was there like any like gorgeous cinematography. Nor was there like any like musical highlights. So it really was just like a very well done, maybe like HBO film that doesn't get that huge budget, but still tells this very important story very effectively. And that makes for a good movie. So I got to give it an 8. You know, I give it a solid 8 just because of the story it told, and it was very effectively told. So that's Margin Call, a solid 8, really good movie. I highly recommend it. Thanks.